time to talk about the boys and the book of summer. Jays reporter for MLB.com and New Glasgow, Nova Scotia's Keegan Matheson's new book, The Franchise, Toronto Blue Jays, A Curated History of the Team, has ranked on the Globe and Mail and Toronto Star bestseller list since its release in June. Keegan joins us to talk about it this morning. Thanks so much for coming in, and congratulations on the book's success so far.
Thank you so much. It's like a little trip home for me to start the day, so it's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. So, I mean, with the launch of the book, was it coincidence or design that it aligned with the Blue Jays just having such a stellar season?
That's good luck. I'd love to say that I saw this coming. I didn't. I thought the challenge would be a Blue Jays team that wasn't as good this year. I know it's my job to see that coming, but this has been an amazing season.
Well, that's why we love sports. That's why we love sports.
They've been my best marketing department this year, the Blue Jays have. So it's been amazing to watch this happen. A lot more people are talking about the Blue Jays, which means hopefully a few more people are reading about them. And it's all happened with a little bit of luck, I think.
Oh, wonderful! That everything is all aligning. Now, the Blue Jays are obviously, you know, your passion and your livelihood. Why did you decide to write a book about them?
A bit of this was timing. I think I've been covering the Blue Jays 10 years now in Toronto since I moved out from Halifax. And I've had some offers to write a book before, but I didn't feel like I'd been around long enough. Didn't feel like I'd been there for enough of the big stories. So I think this came around at the right time. And it was an exciting opportunity for me to tell some bigger stories, because a lot of what I do last night at the Blue Jays game is writing a story about they lost, this is why. And by this morning at 7 or 8 a.m., that's over. It's gone. This was really enjoyable for me to dig down deeper, tell some profiles, some longer stories that I'm not usually able to day to day, and speak to some people that I'm not typically able to day to day. It was also fun to go back into the past seasons, the World Series years, even before I was around. So much different than my day-to-day job, even though the topic is the exact same.
Okay. What are some of your favorite interviews or chapters from the book?
When I look back through all of the interviews, I love sitting down with Buck Martinez. Buck and I have become friends now. He has the little pull quote on the front of the book, which is still so cool to me, even when I see it. But the stories that he was able to tell about these teams that went on before I was around, before I was born in Nova Scotia, was so special to me. And then the Carlos Delgado chapter was really fun, because growing up, Delgado was my favorite player, and I'd always be bugging my mom to let me stay up for just a little longer. It was an 8:30 start, I think, back then, growing up in New Glasgow. So it was pushing bedtime for me back in the mid-'90s. So I had to stay up to watch Carlos Delgado bat one or two more times. So those were pretty special, kind of connecting back when I was a fan to today, when this is work for me. Still love it, but it's taken on a different shape.
Yeah, so if you were watching the Blue Jays in the mid-'90s as a kid, you probably remember when they won the World Series. It was the early 90s, wasn't it, when the Blue Jays won the World Series? I remember that.
Early 90s. I was alive. I can't claim to remember it. The stories of where I was sitting, what I was doing, I wish I remembered it. I would have been 2 and 3 then. So it's been,
my gosh,
I wasn't quite around.
All right,
just almost there. So I can claim I was there, but I don't remember a thing.
Well, I was there, and I'll tell you, it was electrifying for the whole. I wasn't in Toronto, but even just in Canada at that time, it was a super exciting time. All right, so the book is out there. It's getting great acceptance. It's selling like hotcakes. Have you heard any readers, any surprise responses to the book so far?
I've really loved hearing from a lot of readers who connect with the chapters from the 70s and 80s, especially going back to the early days here at Exhibition Stadium, which was not nearly as nice as Rogers Centre. It was a little more rustic on the shore of Lake Ontario, and hearing from fans who connect with that era of Blue Jays baseball, who go back further than I do, because all of those conversations, all of those interviews were brand new to me, which was fascinating for me to go through with a lot of the old players who were so generous about their time. They wanted to talk about the Blue Jays. And that was the fun part for me, because using that same example, last night, I'm talking to the Blue Jays players who play for the 2025 team, and I'm saying, why'd you lose? And if I had a bad day of work and someone showed up in my face asking, why'd you do bad, I wouldn't love that either. But this was a cool opportunity to talk to these old players and ask them about the best days of their lives, about winning a World Series, about making it to the big leagues in Toronto. And hearing from a lot of readers who connected with that and who remembered those stories was pretty fun. You see the different generations of fans for a team that's been around 49 years now, almost 50. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they're having such a great season. The postseason is just ever so close on the horizon. We'll be following you along, Keegan, to get those details on MLB.com. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're going to take a little break on CTV Morning Live. The book, the franchise, the Toronto Blue Jays, it is now available. We're going to take our little break. The details are on our website, by the way.